that. And that's how I feel at the moment. How on earth do we follow that? Maharaj, I've been following you for years, and I hope to follow you for many, many more. But I actually was asked to speak a little bit about interaction with Srila Prabhupada, and I have to admit, as I've said before, I have very little in my devotional life. I only actually saw Srila Prabhupada in person 3 times. The first time at Rath Yatra in 1973, when Srila Prabhupada actually danced the whole way from Marble Arch to Trafalgar Square. The second time was at Bhaktivedanta Manor in 74, and the third time was during Srila Prabhupada's final visit to Bhaktivedanta Manor in 77. But what I really wanted to do today was just to share a pastime that shows Srila Prabhupada's absolute faith, which Maharaj has been talking about. There's no ifs, no buts, no anything. It's solid, absolutely solid. And I know there are lots and lots of examples of this, but this is one that it didn't involve Srila Prabhupada directly, but it involved Mother Jamuna. I was living at Bhaktivedanta Village, which was the Gurukul in Three Rivers in California. And at the time I was feeling very, very homesick.
Do you know when this was?
It was, let me think, 84, 85. It was in the 80s, after we'd left Chaitanya College. And Jamuna was actually living in London, in England at the time, and she came to stay, and she stayed with me, and I was telling her how homesick I was feeling it. So she sat down one evening and she told me lots of stories, Srila Prabhupada's pastimes, and this one was the one that affected me most deeply, just because, as I say, it shows Srila Prabhupada's absolute faith, which I've never had. Even now, when I set out to do something, I wonder, will it be all right? Will it work? Will it do this? Will we do that? Not with Prabhupada. He had such absolute faith in Krishna that whatever, it would happen. However, Ranshore Prabhu tells it much better than I do. So if you'll bear with me just for a few minutes, I'll read this. It's regarding, we're going back to the 2nd of December 1969 in Berry Place. And everybody's panicking because they're like me and they're thinking, goodness knows what's going on here. We have no deities. We're supposed to open in 2 weeks, and there are no deities. There's no sign of any deities. What on earth are we going to do? But Srila Prabhupada, he absolutely knew what we were going to do. And this is a very favorite pastime of mine, which shows that. So, Janaki took a phone call. A Hindu gentleman named Gayal called to say he had 3-foot-tall white marble deities of Radha and Krishna at his home, which might be suitable for a temple. He wanted Prabhupada to come and see them. Janaki told Mukunda, who drove to Mr. Gayal's house with Tamal Krishna. There they saw the most perfect images of Radha and Krishna they had ever set eyes on. Krishna had a bluish cast and fine vertical lines on his forehead. Radha smiled by his side. They rushed back to Baker Street to tell Prabhupada. "Bring my coat," he said. With Shamsundar driving and Tamal Krishna and Mukunda riding in the back, Prabhupada set off for the temple in the temple van to Mr. Gayal's house in Stratford. The East London Hindu Society had ordered deities from India, but the tip of Radha's finger had been chipped in transit. And according to Orthodox Hindu tradition, this meant they could not be worshipped. Mr. Gayal, the temple secretary, had them at his home. They were shown into the living room. There in the corner stood the deities, covered by cloth. Mr. Gayal wanted to reveal them straight away, but Prabhupada sat in a relaxed mood and began a long, cordial conversation with him. They talked in Hindi, and soon they were laughing while Prabhupada's disciples sat in silence. An hour went by, and Prabhupada's foot started vibrating up and down, which happened when he got excited. All at once, he was telling one joke after another, and they were all laughing together. Then suddenly he got up. "Let us see them," he said. The cloth was removed. Shamsundar gasped, but Prabhupada betrayed no emotion. "Do you think your temple can use them?" asked Mr. Gayal. "Yes, I think we can," replied Prabhupada in a very non-committal way. Then he turned to Shamsundar, "Can you lift Krishna?" And to Tamal, "Can you lift Radha?" They each took hold of the figures and raised them carefully. They were solid marble and extremely heavy, but the two young men appeared to lift them easily. Then each one, "Take, and we'll go. Thank you very much." Mr. Gayal appeared to be changing his mind. We will bring them round to the temple in a few days," he stammered. "That's all right. We can manage. We have our own transport." Shamsundar, Tamal, "Take them out to the van. Go on ahead." Mr. Gayal anxiously watched Krishna leaving as Prabhupada kept talking in Hindi. All of a sudden, they were outside, carefully placing the deities in the back of the vehicle and climbing in with them, while Shamsundar closed the doors and got into the driver's seat. Prabhupada emerged from the house in a convivial mood, shaking hands with Mr. Gayal and smiling. But wait, Mr. Gayal was protesting. "It's all right. We'll look after them," Prabhupada assured him. And he got into the van too. "Now, drive," he said to Shamsundar. Off they went, Tamal and Mukunda, clutching the deities to make sure they didn't fall over. Shamsundar drove until they were out of sight. Then Prabhupada told him stop. He got out. He went round to the back of the van and opened the doors. And there, in the road, in the middle of London, he fell down, palms together, and recited prayers from the Brahma Samhita. "Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami," he sang softly. "Now Krishna has come." They were stunned. How had this happened? As they carefully drove back, Prabhupada was thoughtful. "Prabhupada, I think you've kidnapped Krishna," Mukunda ventured at last, breaking the silence. Prabhupada chuckled. "In my householder days, I had a scheme to borrow money from the bank, but the bank manager refused. So I talked to him for a long time and convinced him. He said, 'Mr. Day, you should have been a politician.'" At Berry Place, Jamuna was waiting for their return, watching from Prabhupada's window. She saw the van pull up and the rear doors fly open. Out climbed the devotees, carrying the deities, and Prabhupada followed. As they brought them upstairs to his room, he entered, saw Jamuna waiting, and beamed at her. "Your marble Radha and Krishna have come. Put them in the corner, cover them with cloth. Then he sat down with a huge smile on his face, his eyes sparkling. Krishna wanted to come here all along. He's played a great trick. We were searching everywhere for him, but he was waiting for us. Mr. Gayal made so much effort to bring Krishna here for his Hindu center, but all the time, Krishna wanted to come to us. This chip on Radha's finger was just Krishna's trick. He instructed Jamuna to put a curtain around the deities. I will give you the key to my room. Only you will come here. Now, you prepare everything. And then he left and went back to his apartment in Baker Street. What we've been talking about a lot is that absolute knowledge that Srila Prabhupada had. And if we endeavor, as we've seen through so many stories, then by Krishna's mercy, it will happen. But for myself, there's still always doubt. But we have that example from Srila Prabhupada. And just to finish, there's a picture that I want to share with you. If the technology will allow it. Okay. This picture was taken in 1966 when Srila Prabhupada was preparing the incorporation for ISKCON. And this was what he had: a storefront and 3 hippies. What I see when I see that picture is totally different from what Srila Prabhupada saw. As I say, I see 3 hippies who are, nice guys. Srila Prabhupada saw a worldwide international movement. And that's the difference between my vision and Srila Prabhupada's vision. But we have to endeavor to have that special vision. Srila Prabhupada, ki jai.